I want to talk about that the building of the of an infrastructure. You have. I see that you're getting matching funds in about 20 states. Maybe that may end up being a little bit more. Just sort of eyeballing this off your map. And well, so what is? I mean, ultimately, I mean, what is the pitch in terms of how you think your vote is going to implicate politics going forward. I mean, you're talking about sending a message. You're talking about building an infrastructure. Talk to me. Explain to me just what the longer term vision is for that.
Yeah, voters are forever being told, we have this fear campaign that's been drummed into us for at least the last 10 years, although it goes back further than that, but it's been especially intense. And most opposition parties, that is non-corporate sponsored progressive parties, have mostly been wiped off the face of the political map. It's only the Green Party that has survived for various reasons. I think just, Greens don't give up. We sort of, by definition, we're looking at the big picture. The big picture doesn't look good. So Greens, get that there is nowhere else to go except, back to the drawing boards on democracy and to take our political process back from, the forces of Wall Street and multinational corporations who bought out both political parties. And, so we've been there and we've been ahead of the curve on all kinds of issues, from getting money out of politics to, creating a real small d democratic, multi-partisan system that allows the voices of ordinary people to be heard, public funding of elections. We, have been calling for progress on climate, to fight climate change, for green energy, for nonviolent conflict resolution as the basis of foreign policy rather than brute military force, for protecting our civil liberties. On issue after issue, we've been ahead of the curve, and the curve has caught up to us in a big way. And I think people are beginning to recognize that this politics of fear that just told, independent political politics to go away and be quiet and just, vote your fears, not your values. We now have 10 years of experience to see where that point of view has gotten us. And it's pretty clear that silence, which is what it counsels, silence is not an effective political strategy. And in fact, the politics of fear has brought us everything we've been afraid of, from the expanding wars, which we've gotten big time under this president. He withdrew from Iraq only because it was George Bush's firm date of withdrawal. He was unable to postpone it, which he tried to do. He expanded the wars. He surged to Afghanistan. On the Wall Street bailout, $700 billion under Bush, but $4.5 trillion under this president, and many, many trillions more, $16 trillion more actually, in free loans to Wall Street, which is basically a giveaway. On the free trade agreements, which were enforced by Bush, signed by Clinton, and now vastly expanded by Barack Obama. He's currently negotiating in secret this Trans-Pacific Partnership, which basically puts NAFTA, to shame. This is NAFTA on steroids that we're getting, and these free trade agreements send our jobs overseas, and they undermine wages here at home. The president is touting General Motors, where wages have been slashed practically in half, as the model for the American economy going forward. Our civil liberties have been absolutely slashed by George Bush, and all of those slashes have been codified by this president, basically written into law and extended. He has the right to lock any of us into prison at will through this law of indefinite detention, to criminalize protest, and actually to assassinate American citizens as he pleases, with absolutely no accountability. So all these reasons we were told, you got to be quiet and go along with the lesser evil, we've gotten all of those reasons. We were told to be quiet. We've gotten all of it. The politics of fear has delivered everything we were afraid of. Now, it's really important to replace the politics of fear with the politics of courage and stand up for the long haul. We are the ones we've been waiting for, in the words of Alice Walker.
Now, Jill, I mean, I agree with like I say, with almost everything that you've said in terms of your issues and your analysis of the problems here. as to the extent that that I have opined upon this, I am one of those people who do feel that, at least in the context of a swing state, that it is a dangerous thing to be voting for a third party because it could enable Mitt Romney's win. Now,
Well, Sam, let me tell you why. Let me just speak right to that, because
please,
I understand that viewpoint, and I've often talked to people who think that until they hear what we have to say, and it's it's sort of like talking to someone in an abusive relationship, where the abused has been taught to to sort of spout the apologies for the abuser.
Well,
and
now, but
really
wait a second. Now, you should know.
Well,
you should know that I am not an apologist for Obama. There is nothing that you've brought up today that I haven't gone into extensively. But I mean, I take a look at what Romney and Ryan are proposing, and
exactly. But all right, well, let me accept your point. Not everybody's actually apologizing for Obama. Who's going to vote for him? That is true. So there I think it's really important to see that while your vote is a reluctant vote, and while it's a lesser evil vote, it will be interpreted nonetheless as a mandate, and you'll get more of the same. At any point in time, you can point to differences between Democrats and Republicans that may suggest, at the time, in the moment, may suggest why the Republican ship is sinking much faster than the Democratic ship. However, it's important to remember, look at what we've gotten from Barack Obama.
I know.
While he sounded much better than the Republicans, in fact, he's been able to do much worse than George Bush was able to do, to look at the expanding wars, the Wall Street bailouts, the attack on our civil liberties, because essentially opposition goes away. Barack Obama is a very talented and skilled hypnotic orator who will essentially quell the competition. And, to cite history here as a precedent, it's really important to recognize that it's not only who holds office, it's whether or not there is an empowered political movement that has a voice and that has a vision and that is not afraid to challenge. And unfortunately, under Barack Obama, opposition goes to sleep, so that what you get is actually much worse than what we would have gotten under George Bush had we had a really empowered opposition voice. And what you see in the Occupy movement, in the student protests, in the eviction blockades, you see a political movement, a social movement, really, which is alive and well at the grassroots, but which does not have a political voice. And to look at history, and when we've had transformational change, it's not because we had a president or an executive who led the fight. No, it was because there was a social movement on the ground and there was a political challenge in the form of an independent political party. This was true in abolition.
Okay. All right. Well, Jill, wait a second. Let me address that, because my point is exactly the last one that you made. I mean, I want to take up a couple of the points that you brought up there, but that it is not about who is president and who is that leader of the political party, but it is about social movements. So if well, let's leaving that aside for a moment, and we'll circle back to that. But I mean, assuming that is the most important functionality.
Well, let me just stop you there, because I think it's important to note it's not just a social movement. It's also having an independent political challenge that actually makes history, and it's the two working together that actually make history.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But this notion of if Obama wins Ohio, Florida, Pennsylvania, Colorado by 4 points in each of those states, that he is going to have a mandate. I mean, this whole notion of mandate, I've never experienced this. I mean, I've never experienced where the votes represent a mandate or not. George Bush lost the country by 500,000 votes. He theoretically had less, whatever the opposite of a total mandate is, he seemed to have had, but yet he was still able to sort of lead this country into an illegal occupation and invasion that killed over 100,000 people by our innocent civilians, by our own admission. I imagine the number is significantly higher. So this notion of mandate, I don't necessarily accept. The idea of that last idea of building a social movement, it seems to me that one of the problems, and we can argue back and forth as to whether or not John McCain would have been better than Barack Obama. I mean, we can never really know these things. I mean, I would imagine that Al Gore would not have taken us into Iraq, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, there's no way to really know. But we can look at what actually has happened, and it seems to me that under those 10 years or 8 years of George Bush, much of genuine progressivism was co-opted into this partisan fervor against the Republicans. And I would say that Barack Obama is the first piece of evidence of that. I mean, that he was, the candidate after 8 years of George Bush, and that the notion that the Occupy movement and these other genuine, more grassroots social movements grew under Obama is not a coincidence. That, in fact, there was no institutional outlet for many of, if not the specific policies, but the ideas to be implemented. And by seeing that President Obama was not going to fulfill this promise in many respects, opened up the arena for these social movements.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think the social movements are a symptom of the incredible failure of our economic system, and I think to some extent our political system as well, because it has sort of locked out, hope and change, are obsolete under a corporate-sponsored political party of whatever stripe, And I agree with you. This social movement isn't going away. It's only intensifying. But, in my view, that social movement deserves political expression. It should not be denied it. The Democratic Party is, an effort to co-opt and to silence and to sideline that social movement. We do better historically when we have both a social movement as well as a political party. And I think we see that, we see that certainly in the labor movement, where we had opposition labor parties, socialist parties, Peace and Freedom came later, but it is one of them. Certainly the communist parties, et cetera. These left parties were independent. They were pushing an agenda. They forced the hand of FDR. It wasn't only that there was a social movement, there was a political threat. In the words of Frederick Douglass, power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. That demand needs to be in the political discourse. Otherwise, all the work that social movement does is crushed by the continued rightward surge of both political parties. If there is not a political challenge as well as a social challenge, you have, you essentially silence the voice of the public interest, because the voices you hear by definition are corporate sponsored and they are corporate scripted. And essentially what we see Obama and Romney doing now, both of them fundamentally competing for corporate money. So that's why you don't hear students come up in this, in this political campaign, not one bit. And that's another key issue I neglected to mention. Our campaign alone is calling for tuition-free public higher education and for bailing out students and homeowners, not bankers. There are 36 million students right now who do not have a future. Even if Barack Obama were elected on the agenda he's campaigning on, which we've learned is a far cry from what he actually implements. But let's pretend that his pseudo-minimalist populism right now was his agenda. It doesn't even include dealing with the student crisis, the loan crisis, the generation of indentured servants. This is the real engine of change. This is the driver of Tahrir Square and the revolution in Tunisia. It is a generation of young people who do not have a future. They are locked out. And I think by essentially apologizing for, if not in words, then in deed, by voting for either of these corporate-sponsored candidates, we've basically locked people, who are on the real receiving end here of this incredible, death spiral that our economy and our climate are in. That's really falling squarely on the shoulders of the younger generation.
Well,
And
well, let me ask you this, Jill. If we're going to characterize a vote in this situation for Obama as an apology going forward, that I guess the idea is that, from what you're saying, is that this is going to add to a mandate, and there's going to be no sort of broader political understanding that there's a call for change. Tell me.
It allows him to walk away with that.
Well, tell me what happens. Well, tell me what happens if I vote Green and or Obama or Romney wins. I'm curious. And I'm speaking as someone who has voted Green in presidential elections in the past, and I want to know. What is the Green Party going to be what is the Green Party's plan for 2013, 2014, 2015 if Mitt Romney is president or if President Obama is president?
Either way, we must build the future that we deserve, and we must demand it. So, I think that what you see now is a Green Party that has come of age, that has managed to survive a climate where no other non-corporate opposition party has survived. They don't exist. So several of them have gathered together under the Green Party umbrella in order to build this political vehicle for the social movement. And I think we've seen the social movement converge with the Green Party in this agenda as well, to where we are seeing lots of the Occupy leaders join the party, become a part of the campaign, many of them running for office as well under the banner of the Green Party. And that agenda for the future is being discussed now, and we are using this opportunity of a national conversation to enlarge and strengthen the Green Party, to build locals, to revive the state parties, many of them that had gone dark over the past 10 years have come back to life. They are working to get on the ballot. They have worked to qualify for matching funds. We have an incredibly revived grassroots structure. Our immediate target coming out of this election are actually municipal elections and potentially some legislative as well. But for 2013, we're targeting municipal elections in some of the strongholds for young people and for the Green Party and the Occupy movement, where we have very strong candidates who we think we can help break through. We can enlarge Green Party membership on city council, elect a wider group of Green Party mayors, and begin to move people into our state legislatures. So that is the first target. But we're in this race as well because it is a perfect storm for advancing that structure and for really advancing the vision. And there's so much that can be done by launching the vision at a national level. This national race is very much patterned after our work here in my home state of Massachusetts, where by running repeatedly high-visibility elections, we were able to revive and energize the state party to where it's a whole new ballgame now, and to where we regularly are winning the endorsements of labor groups and women's groups and environmental groups, and all those who used to look to the Democratic Party are now frequently looking to the Green candidates and endorsing Greens even in 3- and 4-way races, because they get that the Democrats have basically abandoned ship on this agenda that we need to go forward. So we are very much applying, the lessons of how to build a grassroots organization from the bottom up.
Let me ask you this. I mean, finally, because because these are issues that I've been struggling with for years, frankly. Why not take this energy that I feel I have to ask this question, but why is what you're talking about a more effective means in which to build this this party, this movement, and give it political expression? Why is it more effective to do this outside of the local Democratic Party structure? I mean, I understand from a national level, look, we're talking about big money. There's big corporate interests. 25 years ago, the Democratic Party, the National Party, made a very conscious decision to go after corporate money. But when we're talking about, the statewide county level Democratic parties, you can go and be a county, sit on the county nominating slate. You could literally walk in there and just put your name down, and 50% of the time you can get that position, which is a very powerful position. Why not use that existing apparatus and take over that apparatus rather than trying to create a whole new one from whole cloth?
Well, all I can say is been there, done that. They're really good people who have been struggling to do that for many years. And I would point to, for example, many of the activists in PDA, in Progressive Democrats for America, who've been trying to do this. I've seen it happen here in my own state here, with Progressive Democrats really fighting against the system. And while they're, good people have tried hard for a long time to do exactly this. And this is basically who keeps coming into the Green Party. We are populated with Democrats who have just gone to the breaking point and beyond. And at the end of the day, you can do good local politics, but the money will make the difference, the money and the hierarchy within the Democratic Party. We've seen terrific Democratic challengers. For example, in our Senate race here in Massachusetts, we had a really principled Democrat who was challenging Elizabeth Warren, who has some good things, but, very limited scope. She won't challenge money. She won't challenge foreign policy. There's very little that she will challenge other than sort of consumer protection and Wall Street, which is an important issue, but we're not going to get out of here alive if that's all we take on. And there was an excellent Democrat grassroots campaign challenging her that was basically engineered off the ballot. And there was a vote that was engineered at the Democratic Party convention in order to keep her out of a primary. So, this is not the exception. This is the rule. This is how party machine politics works. And look at people like Kucinich. There are lots of good people like that who have spent a lifetime. Look at Barack Obama, and people went to the mat for him and beyond, who've just been completely screwed over. Students, who were out, who dredged up hundreds of dollars to contribute to him and went door to door for him, are now basically paupers and indentured servants, and they're not happy about it. I think we keep being talked into suppressing our own, inspired resistance. And that is the role that the Democratic Party has firmly played. They are they are effectively the apologist for the taskmaster and provide a friendly and welcoming face and get people to squander their precious activist years working within that system. And I think people have hit the breaking point, not only politically, but they don't have jobs. And if they have jobs, they don't pay living wages. And, and they're being thrown out of their homes by the millions, and students are indentured servants, and the climate is melting down before our very eyes, and this president, engineered the failure of any national agreement, the impossibility of any national agreement until 2020, until there is a major social and political upheaval. That is what we need. There is a social and economic upheaval which is taking place right now. There is a rebellion in full swing. It deserves to be amplified with a political voice. If you take away its political voice, you suppress that movement. Because the combination of a independent political voice with a social movement is unstoppable. And that's where we need to go. The sooner we go there, the less damage we will have to undo, and the greater the odds that we can survive into the next century. Right now, we are on a trajectory for, it's a doomsday trajectory. We don't want to be on this trajectory. We need to fight the predator on every front, and that includes the voting booth. To raise the white flag of surrender over the voting booth is to put a pall over all the work that we do outside of the voting booth. We need to empower ourselves politically as well as socially.
All right, Jill Stein, the candidate for presidency of the United States from the Green Party. You can check out jillstein.org. Is there any other sites where can people get more information on the Green Party?
They can also go to gp.org, but I think if you go to our website, you will see the real leading edge of the Green Party and where we are going, and you'll see a very clearly articulated agenda, and you can join the team. One of our immediate upcoming targets, actually, is to open up the debate. Let's at least allow the American people to hear what their choices are and not leave this up to a private corporation sponsored by the Democratic and Republican parties whose goal is to suppress debate and to silence political opposition. The American public, in polls, up to 61% are saying they think we need a third party and would seriously consider voting for one. Let's actually allow the American public to hear about what its choices are.
Jill Stein, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate the time today.